First question I have is, what sequence or moment from the script really drew you in and got you guys on board for Venom? Because I know that you've been a fan for a very long time.
My son has been a huge fan of Venom for a very long time, and I got initiated. I knew who he was from the comic books when as a kid. I saw the front covers of the Venom comics, but that's where it ended. That's the Black Spider-Man, and he looks way cooler than Spider-Man. If I ever read a comic, it will be that one over those two. But I wasn't a big fan.
Gotcha.
And now I'm one, but that's where I'm coming from. And for me, the initial draw was the interaction and the dynamic between Eddie Brock and the symbiote, and the inner conflict and the struggle between primal sort of need, which is Venom. It's like, when do we eat? You know, the earth is an all-you-can-eat buffet, and why can I not do as I wish whenever I want? And Eddie Brock, who has very few scruples, trying to create an ethical framework in order to negotiate the terms of this alien living inside of him. I thought this was really good fun. Yeah. And it happens to be a Marvel movie too, but centrifugal. That was what was the key issue for me. And you?
It was just thought it might be fun, you know. Sounds like a laugh. So, I wasn't doing anything that week, you know.
Yeah, just came on into set and just did it.
That's my answer.
Yeah.
Tom, how did you approach the role? Because I saw a documentary on paranoid schizophrenia, and it seems like there's a lot drawn from that, at least with the way Eddie handled the Venom character, the symbiote inside of him.
Do you know I didn't study paranoid schizophrenia?
Really?
No. I don't see necessarily, apart from armchair psychology sort of conversation about potential delusional behaviour or inner voices or
sure.
That kind of. There was nothing which was with specificity designed to reenact any semblance of mental health in that aspect.
Sure.
So I wouldn't comment in that area at all, or be glib. However, I have an inside voice personally, and my own mental health issues, with which was very simple to draw upon. That part of me which is nourishing or less nourishing in my actions, and then it was just to personify the one that didn't really care, the chaos, or the self-will run riot, as it were, which is symbolised in Venom, who's actually purely quite an innocent and naive creature in many aspects, but also incredibly advanced because he's from outer space. We can imbue him with a much higher power, intelligence, if you wanted to. But primarily on this planet, it's really about, what do I eat, where do I sleep? You know, and it really broke it down very simply.
Basic survival, yeah.
Yeah, but how you see that interact with a human being with an ethical framework, trying to negotiate the terms of his inner landscape, has a tortured neurosis about it, which I find funny, as opposed to what you describe as schizophrenia.
Sure.
I would say it was more the embracement of tortured neurosis, which is hysteria and a semblance of an emotional imbalance, and therefore there's a more humorous palette, although that is a legitimate suffering if people do have tortured neurosis that I'm not making fun of or being glib either.
Right. And your character, Carlton Drake, he's a scientist, a businessman, and also has like glimmers of like a cult leader, the way he kind of speaks to people. Can you talk to me about the approach of Carlton Drake?
Well, you know, it's interesting you say he's a cult leader, because really what he is he's the head of a big technology company. And if you think about lots of the big kind of companies that really control so many different aspects of our lives, how we interact with each other, what we consume, how we kind of, you know, mediate the world and our experience of it. You could say there's something cultish about that in terms of the kind of, the reach, the power, the personality cults, the great man myth that a lot of these companies kind of build themselves around. So there was that element, but I wasn't drawing from cults or anything like that, really. I was just drawing from the reality of what a lot of these billionaire industrialists and their ambition seems to enable them to try and achieve. And Carlton Drake is someone whose ambition reaches as far as the stars, you know, and that's a situation that we live in right now as well. We've got lots of people sending rockets into space to explore space as a frontier. So to be honest, the research for this was, you know, it's in the times that we're living in, and it was kind of at my fingertips.
Right. And Tom, great job on that Venom voice, man. Like it was amazing. Where did you come up with that? Like, how did that develop?
Redman and Busta Rhymes and James Brown, and then that's as ingredients, and then I played with the fusion to sort of create what you hear, which sounds nothing like them, but initially that was the kind of vibe or the heartbeat that I wanted to bring to it, was a kind of bombastic, playful, like dark, witty, clever, you know, very edgy honest.
That's awesome.
But with a kind of a powerful, familiar, friendly sound, which is palatable, but will, you know, drop unexpectedly like birds do. You know.
Well, guys,
like the truth.